We've had Starlink in our RV and at home for 2 years, and in this video I'm going to talk about the pros, the cons, and how we have it set up in our Jayco Silverline on 12 volts. Hey, so if you've just joined us, I'm Greg from Kiwi Wanderers in New Zealand. Sandy, Holly and myself are enjoying life outside the box, sometimes in our lovely Jayco and sometimes not. And this video is one of our tech tip series. So, Starlink. If you follow our channel, you will know I am a great advocate of Starlink. We've had it almost since it was released in New Zealand, and it's been fantastic. But everybody's use for internet differs, so I made this video so we can highlight the pros and the cons and also show everyone how we have ours set up in the Silverline. Right, let's get into it. Pros. It's fast. It's almost as fast as a fibre landline connection, but it does vary. We've had speeds over 350 megabits per second and sometimes down to 100 megabits per second, which is still very fast. I have been doing some speed tests on different devices while we've been travelling around New Zealand, and Starlink is always well above the other mobile ways to connect to the internet. So that's my number one, speed. Number two, reliability. It always works. In our 2 years using it, just about every day, it's never let us down. You plug it in, turn it on, and boom, fast internet. Doesn't matter where you are in New Zealand. So that means we don't have to worry about if there's no cell phone coverage in a place we're visiting, because we know we can be online anywhere. And if we want to be off-grid, we turn it off. Number three, pro, not affected by times of the day or any other type of congestion. So at the Reefton NZMCA rally, I tested a friend's net speed and my mobile, and both were suffering from congestion, which is understandable as there were sort of 800 or 900 vans there, and lots of the NZMCA members have net speed, and everyone has a cell phone. So the cellular network that both of those things connect to would have been severely overloaded. But Starlink, just great. In saying that, I do believe that congestion in the States, some areas have had a little bit of congestion, but Starlink's a very progressive company and it's launching more and more satellites all the time, so it has the capacity for all of its customers. It's easy to set up. There's no aiming discs or things to get coverage. As long as you can see the sky, you can get connected. So it's not going to work in a tunnel, but why you'd want to camp in a tunnel is beyond me anyway. Hey, it's easy. Even Sandy can do it. I will admit it's not quite as easy to set up as a cell phone, but at the end of the video I'll show you our setup and you can see just how quick it is. The roam plan suits RV people. One of Starlink's plans is called the roam plan. Used to be called the RV plan when we signed up. It is quite expensive, $199 a month, but you can pause it when you're not using it. We went overseas last year and paused it for 3 months, saving $600. So this might be suitable for people who only travel in their vans for a few months of the year. It is a month-by-month thing, so you can't turn it off for a couple of days. You turn it off for the whole month or on for the whole month. But anyway, it's a plus for us. Righto, so that's all the pros. The cons. It does use a bit of power. So this doesn't worry people using it at home or plugged in at a campsite. But when you're off-grid, power use is a big consideration. It's one of our 5 W's. So for our setup, we have Star Power 12 volt, which works very well, but it still uses about 35 watts of our precious power. So if you are considering Starlink, you do need to factor in the requirement to have a little bit of spare power available when you're off-grid. The second con is the standard router is not that good. It does the job, but its Wi-Fi range is not what you'd expect from this sort of equipment. So all I'm saying, if you want Starlink Wi-Fi to broadcast any distance, you might have to look at a router upgrade. The next con is there is no contract. So with Starlink you have no contract, so you can stop it at any time. This is a good thing, as you're not tied into anything if your situation changes. but it also means that Starlink can change the terms at their end at any time. Last year they put a data cap on of 1 gigabyte. We never got close to that, but yeah, and we use it most days. The latest change was to release a deprioritised plan for $79 per month, which is pretty cheap. So that was really a pro and a con. In my opinion, Starlink are always looking to get the market right. And last on my list of cons is there's no phone support. If you need support for anything, you need to do it with an email through the app, which I've only had to do once, and it worked really, really well. I managed to damage my dish. It still worked, but it had a big crack in it, so I used the app and requested a replacement. 3 days later, I had a new dish, and all I had to do was send the old parts back to Starlink. Now, the really good news was I didn't have to pay for the new dish. It was my fault that it broke, but they still gave it to me for free. Their customer service definitely exceeded my expectation. Okay, so that's the pros and the cons for our Starlink after 2 years use. Right, how we set up our Starlink on 12 volt. We used a Star Power gear and it's been great. I have it all set up in one of our outside cabinets. All I had to do was run a good 12 volt power supply to this cabinet. I have done this running 2 wires from positive and negative posts under the bed, through the floor, follow the loom up to the cabinet. I put in a 10 amp fuse and a standard switch so it doesn't look out of place. So we've removed the TV bracket from inside here and fitted all the Starlink gear. We have the latest waterproof through wall fitting, and I've modified the Starlink lead to have the standard RJ45 connector or internet connector. Now I haven't measured this, but I think having a much shorter lead, like it was 23 metres long and now it's only about 5 metres, has reduced my power consumption slightly. So that's a plus. I also have another complete Starlink lead for when I want to run Starlink on grid, which is caravan speak for at a house. So with this latest mod, I just have to throw the dish up on the stand at the back of the van, then plug in the very short lead and flick the switch inside, and we're up and running. I have timed it, and it takes a whole 90 seconds to set up Starlink. So I have a list of all the stuff we've used, and it's in the description below. Now, if you have come across some stuff that might improve my Starlink, please let me know in the comments below. So, there we are. After 2 years, do we regret having Starlink? Hell no. It's a great bit of kit, and the thing I love about it is we're not restricted to where we go. We have 6 kids, and I am an elderly father, so we always need to have sort of contact, or like to be contactable. And of course we have internet for work and stuff. So there you go. That's it. That's our setup. Don't forget to subscribe. We have some cool videos coming out. Sans and I are trying to commit to doing 1 video per week, which is actually a lot harder than it sounds. Hey, and if you see us out in the campsites and you want to have a bit more of a look at our Starlink gear or anything else, just come on over. We love talking to like-minded people. Okay, thanks for watching. See you out there.